Imagine being a beloved TV star, suddenly vanishing from the spotlight without explanation. That's the reality for Frank Fritz, whose unexpected departure from American Pickers left fans shocked and confused. Today, we're not just talking about antique treasures, we're revealing the tragic accident and behind-the-scenes drama that led to the end of the show. This is a story of lost friendships, health battles, and a series that could never be the same without its original dynamic. American Pickers, known internationally as The Pickers, is a captivating reality TV show that first aired on the History Channel back in January 2010. The show is produced by A&E Networks and Cineflix Media, and it's all about the thrill of the hunt for rare and unique Americana artifacts and national treasures. The show follows two charismatic pickers, Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz, as they embark on exciting adventures across the United States. These guys are passionate about history and antiques, and they have a knack for finding hidden gems in the most unexpected places. They scour dusty barns, cluttered basements, and even junkyards, always on the lookout for valuable items that tell a story about America's rich past. But it's not just about buying and selling for Mike and Frank. They're also avid collectors, so sometimes they find items they just can't part with. They're passionate about preserving these pieces of history and sharing them with others. So what kind of treasures do they find? You name it. They've uncovered everything from vintage motorcycles and rare advertising signs to antique toys and Civil War relics. Each episode is a treasure hunt, filled with unexpected discoveries, fascinating stories, and the thrill of the deal. Danielle, based at Antique Archaeology's headquarters in LeClaire, Iowa, and more recently at their Nashville location, is responsible for generating leads and managing the logistics of their picking adventures. She's a vital part of the team, using her research skills and extensive knowledge of antiques to identify potential treasure troves for Mike and Frank to explore. Initially, the pickers traveled across the country in a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, but they've since upgraded to a Ford Transit, ensuring they have plenty of space for their finds. While Mike sells his treasures at Antique Archaeology's two locations, Frank operates his own shop and website, Frank Fritz Finds, in Savannah, Illinois. The show's format follows a simple yet exciting formula. Danielle provides Mike and Frank with leads on promising locations, but they also often freestyle, stopping at random places that look like they might hold hidden treasures. They're not afraid to revisit locations either, as they know that new items can always surface. Each episode begins with a captivating introduction narrated by Wolfe and Fritz. In the early seasons, this intro was quite lengthy, but starting with Season 4, it was shortened to a more concise and impactful message. We're pickers. We travel the back roads of America looking to buy rusty gold. We're looking for amazing things buried in people's garages and barns. What most people see as junk, we see as dollar signs. We'll buy anything we think we can make a buck on. Each item we pick has a history all its own. And the people we meet? Well, they're a breed all their own. We make a living telling the history of America, one piece at a time. They seek out a diverse range of individuals, from amateur collectors with a passion for nostalgia to serious collectors with an eye for valuable antiques. They even encounter hoarders with overflowing collections and folks who've inherited piles of items they have no clue what to do with. It's a fascinating glimpse into the world of collecting and the stories behind the objects that people cherish. Mike Wolfe, a lifelong picker who started at the tender age of 4, has a particular fondness for antique motorcycles, vintage Volkswagens, old bicycles, and even the quirky penny farthing. His passion for these items is evident in his excitement whenever he stumbles upon a rare find. Frank Fritz, on the other hand, has a soft spot for antique toys, oil cans, and vintage Hondas. He's also a sucker for anything related to peanuts, from vintage peanut butter jars to antique peanut vending machines. His eclectic taste and keen eye for detail make him a valuable asset to the team. The duo's picking adventures have led them to uncover a wide array of fascinating items. They've scored vintage advertisements and commercial signs, movie posters, a rare 15-gallon visible gasoline pump, and even a Piaggio Ape, a three-wheeled Italian vehicle that's a real head-turner. In December 2011, American Pickers took a giant leap forward when antique archaeology expanded its operations to Nashville, Tennessee. The company leased part of a historic 1914 car factory that once produced the Marathon automobile. This strategic move was a game-changer, reducing the distance and cost of hauling their newfound treasures from the southern states back to their main headquarters in LeClaire, Iowa. It was a sign of the show's growing success and the expanding reach of Mike Wolfe's antique empire. However, the American Pickers team faced a major shakeup in July 2021 when the History Channel announced that Frank Fritz would be leaving the cast. This news came as a shock to fans who had grown to love the dynamic duo of Wolfe and Fritz. The reasons behind Fritz's departure were shrouded in mystery, leaving viewers to speculate about the behind-the-scenes drama that led to this unexpected split. Just a year later, in July 2022, tragedy struck when Fritz suffered a stroke. The news was shared by Wolfe on social media, prompting an outpouring of support and well wishes from fans. Fritz's health battle added another layer of complexity to his departure from the show, raising concerns about his well-being and future in the world of antique picking. In May 2023, there was a glimmer of hope for a reunion when Fritz and Wolfe met up. However, due to his ongoing health issues, Fritz decided against returning to the show at that time. It was a bittersweet moment for fans who longed for the return of the original duo. Since Fritz's departure, other members of the American Pickers team have stepped up to fill the void. Danielle Colby, the show's charismatic office manager, has occasionally joined Wolfe on his road trips, bringing her own expertise and infectious enthusiasm to the picking process. Mike's younger brother Robbie, along with friend and antiques expert Jersey John Saleh, have also taken turns accompanying Wolfe on his adventures and even ventured out on their own solo trips. However, the show was never the same after Frank Fritz, and how he left the show is really heartbreaking. The last time we saw Frank Fritz on American Pickers was in Season 21, Episode 7, aptly titled Burlesque Queen. It was a typical episode with Fritz and Mike Wolfe scouring Kansas City for hidden treasures and striking deals with collectors. But after that episode, Fritz vanished from the show without a trace. Strangely, neither Mike Wolfe nor anyone else on the show addressed his absence. They continued filming as if nothing had happened, leaving fans puzzled and concerned. For avid viewers, this silence was deafening. It was clear that something was amiss. After Season 21 wrapped up, fans eagerly awaited an explanation, but none came. Then, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, putting the show on hold for a while. When filming for Season 22 resumed in 2021, Fritz was still nowhere to be seen. Mike Wolfe became the sole narrator, leaving fans wondering if Fritz had left the show for good. Finally, Fritz broke his silence, but his explanation wasn't what anyone expected. He claimed his absence wasn't because he didn't want to be on the show, but because he couldn't be. Frank Fritz's departure from American Pickers was shrouded in mystery. He revealed that the show hadn't contacted him for filming, even though he was ready and available to return. This raised eyebrows among fans, as it seemed like a roundabout way of saying he'd been fired. However, Fritz's explanation added another layer to the story. He disclosed that he had been suffering from Crohn's disease, a chronic condition affecting the digestive system, during the filming of American Pickers. This condition necessitated a 9-month hiatus from the show for back surgery and recovery. It was later revealed that Fritz had undergone extensive surgery, requiring 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine. The recovery process was grueling, and he also used this time to address his alcohol addiction. He shed 65 pounds during his time away from the show, attributing the weight loss to a combination of exercise and sobriety. While it might seem unusual for someone to need 9 months to recover from back surgery, Fritz clarified that the majority of his time was spent battling his alcohol addiction, a personal struggle he has since overcome. Despite his openness about his health struggles and recovery, it appeared that the crew on American Pickers was less than supportive. Their lack of communication and acknowledgement of his absence left fans wondering about the true nature of Fritz's departure and whether there was more to the story than met the eye. Frank Fritz felt deeply hurt and neglected by the lack of support from the American Pickers crew during his recovery. No one, not even his longtime friend and co-host Mike Wolfe, reached out to check on his health after his back surgery. This silence, especially from Wolfe, with whom he had shared a close bond for nearly 4 decades, stung deeply. Fritz felt like he had been erased from their memories. No calls, no emails, no messages. It was as if he had never existed. This blatant disregard for his well-being fueled a growing resentment within him. As his anger simmered, Fritz began to open up about other grievances he had experienced while filming the show. He revealed that the producers had always favored Wolfe, giving him more screen time and prioritizing his ideas and suggestions. Fritz felt like he was constantly being pushed to the sidelines, relegated to a secondary role. While Fritz admitted that he didn't mind being the number 2 guy on the show, he was deeply disappointed to realize that Wolfe wasn't even content with that arrangement. According to Fritz, Wolfe wanted to be the sole star, pushing Fritz further into the shadows. These revelations shed light on the growing rift between the two friends and co-hosts. It became clear that their relationship was far more complicated than the friendly banter viewers saw on screen. While Frank Fritz's revelations painted a picture of betrayal and unfair treatment, it's important to note that his side of the story could be embellished or even completely false. The only way to get a clearer picture is to hear what the History Channel and Mike Wolfe had to say about the situation. Unfortunately, their response was less than revealing. The History Channel simply confirmed that Frank Fritz would no longer be appearing on the show, essentially confirming his dismissal. Mike Wolfe, in a carefully worded Instagram post, bid farewell to Fritz, calling him a brother and reminiscing about their journey together on American Pickers. However, Wolfe's post conveniently ignored Fritz's accusations about his behavior, focusing solely on the fact that Fritz was leaving the show. This lack of transparency only fueled the rumors and speculation surrounding Fritz's departure. After all, Fritz claimed the two hadn't spoken in 2 years, contradicting Wolfe's brotherly sentiments. Danielle Colby, another cast member of American Pickers, didn't hold back her thoughts on the matter. About a week after Wolfe's Instagram post, Danielle Colby chimed in with her own cryptic message. She expressed sadness over Fritz's departure, but hinted that it was ultimately for the best, emphasizing the importance of taking responsibility for actions that cause pain to others. This comment sparked speculation among fans, many of whom interpreted it as a veiled reference to Fritz's well-known struggle with alcohol addiction. But the drama didn't end there. In response to Wolfe's Instagram tribute, Fritz fired back in an interview with The Sun, calling Wolfe's words PR-generated nonsense. He claimed that his relationship with Wolfe had always been strained, and that he rarely received positive feedback from his co-host. This public spat between the two former friends further fueled the rumors and speculation about what really went down behind the scenes of American Pickers. Despite the messy fallout, Fritz hasn't given up on his dream of returning to the show. He believes he has the support of thousands of fans who would love to see him back on screen. If that doesn't work out, he's even open to starting a new show where he could be the main star. So, what really happened between Fritz and American Pickers? Based on Danielle and Fritz's comments, it seems likely that the show let him go before his surgery, due to issues related to his alcohol addiction. It also appears that Fritz expected a warm welcome back after addressing his addiction, but was met with silence and dismissal instead. Frank Fritz's departure from American Pickers had a significant impact on the show and its fan base. Viewers had grown to love the dynamic between Fritz and Wolfe, their contrasting personalities and friendly banter adding a unique flavor to the show. Fritz's absence left a void that was difficult to fill, as his knowledge, passion for antiques, and quirky humor were a major part of the show's appeal. The ratings for American Pickers took a noticeable hit after Fritz's departure, as many fans expressed their disappointment and frustration with the show's decision. Some even boycotted the show altogether, refusing to watch it without their beloved, bearded charmer. The introduction of Mike Wolfe's brother, Robbie Wolfe, as a replacement for Fritz further alienated some fans. While Robbie had made occasional appearances on the show before, his permanent addition to the cast felt forced and lacked the natural chemistry that Fritz and Wolf had shared. If that was not enough, another major member left the show, Danielle Colby. Danielle Colby Cushman, the fiery and passionate heart of American Pickers, wasn't always a fixture on the show. In fact, she was noticeably absent from the entire 24th season, leaving fans scratching their heads and speculating about her sudden disappearance. Rumors of a firing swirled, but the truth was far more complex and personal. The real reason behind Danielle's absence was a battle with incredibly painful uterine fibroids, non-cancerous growths in the uterus that can cause immense discomfort and complications. This condition took a toll on Danielle's health and well-being, making it difficult for her to continue her work on the show. In late 2022, Danielle made the difficult decision to undergo a hysterectomy, a surgical procedure to remove her uterus. This major operation was necessary to alleviate the pain and complications caused by the fibroids. It was a challenging time for Danielle, both physically and emotionally, as she recovered from surgery and adjusted to the changes in her body. The mystery surrounding Danielle Colby's disappearance from American Pickers was finally solved when she opened up about her health struggles. Following her hysterectomy in late 2022, Danielle revealed that she had lost her passion for work. This was the sole reason for her absence from the show's 24th season, contrary to rumors of her being fired. There was no dramatic exit or falling out. It was simply a personal decision to prioritize her well-being and recovery. Fans of the show were relieved to hear that Danielle wasn't gone for good. She returned for the 25th season, much to the delight of viewers who missed her vibrant personality and expertise in the world of antique picking. Her comeback brought a renewed energy to the show, and fans hoped it would boost the ratings, which had been on a downward trend. The previous season, American Pickers had suffered a significant drop in viewership. According to exclusive reports from The Sun, the August 23rd episode drew a mere 620,000 viewers, the lowest of the season. This decline in ratings, coupled with Frank Fritz's departure, raised concerns about the future of the show. However, with Danielle Colby back in the picture, there's renewed hope for American Pickers. Her return has brought a fresh perspective and a burst of energy to the show, and fans are eager to see what treasures she and Mike Wolf will uncover in their picking adventures. While the ratings for American Pickers may be declining, Danielle Colby is keeping herself busy with other projects. In a surprising twist, she'll be spending the first half of the year showcasing her talents as a burlesque dancer in Puerto Rico. The show, part of the Rincon Roadshow Presents Tropical Sinferno, promises to be a sizzling showcase of dance and performance art. Danielle even shared a link for fans to purchase tickets for the January 13th show, which will feature a diverse lineup of talented performers. But Danielle isn't just focusing on burlesque. She's also been thinking ahead, preparing for the possibility that American Pickers might not continue. Her love for vintage clothing and textiles has led her to a new project, a book showcasing her personal collection of antique apparel. During the show's hiatus, Danielle announced that she would be selecting the most unique and interesting pieces from her own closet, photographing them, and sharing the stories behind them. She's collaborating with a friend on this project, which promises to be a fascinating glimpse into the world of vintage fashion and Danielle's personal style. Moreover, there was another loss of American Pickers. Bob Peterson was introduced to American Pickers fans as a skilled and passionate individual with extensive knowledge in mechanics and antiques. He was not only involved in various projects, but also provided guidance and support to the show's main pickers, Mike Wolf and Frank Fritz. Peterson's expertise and vibrant personality made him a beloved figure among the show's audience and crew. Peterson was often seen working alongside Mike and Frank, helping them identify valuable items and offering mechanical insights that were crucial for many of their restoration projects. His ability to fix and restore antique items was invaluable to the team. He brought a unique blend of technical skills and life wisdom, which enriched the show's narrative and educational value. Mike Wolf considered Bob Peterson more than a colleague. He was a mentor and a dear friend. Wolf frequently spoke about the influence Peterson had on his life, both professionally and personally. Peterson's approach to life, his enthusiasm for antiques, and his mechanical prowess were qualities that Wolf admired deeply. Their bond extended beyond the screen as they shared many adventures and learning experiences together. Bob Peterson's departure from American Pickers was not due to any scandal or conflict, but was a result of his passing. Peterson's death was a significant loss to the American Pickers community. He was remembered fondly by both the cast and the viewers for his contributions to the show and the impact he had on those around him. After Peterson's passing, Mike Wolf shared a heartfelt tribute to his friend on social media. Wolf highlighted Peterson's role as a mentor and his zest for life. He spoke about how Peterson's lessons extended beyond mechanics to life philosophies, emphasizing living each day with passion and purpose. Wolf's tribute included photos and video clips of Peterson, celebrating his life and the moments they shared on the show. The tribute underscored the profound impact Peterson had on the show and its cast, reflecting the respect and admiration he garnered during his time on American Pickers. Fans of the show also expressed their condolences and shared their favorite memories of Peterson, highlighting his warm and approachable demeanor. The departure of Frank Fritz marked a significant change in the show's dynamic. The relationship between Mike and Frank was at the heart of American Pickers. Their contrasting personalities and friendly banter created a unique and engaging dynamic that resonated with viewers. Frank's straightforward, no-nonsense approach complemented Mike's more exuberant and enthusiastic style. This chemistry was a key element of the show's success, and its absence has been deeply felt by fans. Longtime viewers of American Pickers had grown attached to the original cast. Frank, Mike, and Danielle had become familiar faces, creating a sense of continuity and reliability. The changes in the cast disrupted this familiarity, making it difficult for some viewers to connect with the new dynamic. The introduction of new cast members, while necessary, could not fully replicate the original chemistry that viewers had come to love. The departures of key cast members like Frank Fritz and the passing of Bob Peterson had an emotional impact on both the cast and the audience. These changes were not just professional, but personal losses as well. Frank's health struggles and his public fallout with Mike, coupled with the lack of support he felt, added a layer of drama and sadness that affected the show's atmosphere. Bob Peterson's death also left a significant void, as he was a mentor and beloved figure on the show. As with any long-running series, the interests and focus of the cast members evolve over time. Danielle Colby's growing involvement in her burlesque career and other projects, along with Mike Wolf's expanding ventures outside the show, indicate a shift in priorities. These changes reflect the natural progression of life, but also mean that the energy and focus that initially drove American Pickers are now dispersed among various interests and commitments. Audiences often develop specific expectations based on the original format and cast of a show. When these elements change, it can lead to disappointment and a sense of loss. The new cast members, despite their talents and enthusiasm, face the challenge of living up to the legacy of their predecessors. This transition period is difficult for any long-running show, and American Pickers is no exception. While American Pickers continues with a dedicated and talented cast, the departures of Frank Fritz, Bob Peterson, and the fluctuating involvement of Danielle Colby have altered the show's essence. The original chemistry and dynamic that made the show a hit are difficult to replicate, leading to a sense of nostalgia and longing among longtime fans. The current cast strives to maintain the show's spirit and continue the legacy of treasure hunting, but for many, it will never quite be the same without the original trio.